Bitcoin's coming down a little bit, and maybe the market is telling us that it knows something that we don't. Today's a big day. We've got the EU vote. Does the market maybe know something about the EU vote that we don't know? Is that why Bitcoin's coming down? Is Bitcoin coming down because of such a big day today? And I'll tell you today why it's such a big day in the investment calendar. It's a huge day in the investment calendar, one of the biggest days this year in the investment calendar. So that's another thing that's happening. And then after that, we're going to be asking a big question. Someone here says is going to make me miss BitBoy show. I'll be doing you a favor. Then we're going to ask a big question. And the question is, which one of these tokens is going to hit $250 first? And I'm going to show you the bull case. I'm going to show you the bear case for each one. And then together, we're going to decide which one of them is going to hit $250 first. Then we've got some huge giveaways. We've got some Bybit giveaways and a whole lot of other giveaways. And then we're going to degen into altcoins. So it's going to be a big show. We are late, but better late than never. Let's do this. All right, better late than never, but we are here and we're going to bring you an unbelievable, huge show because there's a lot going on in crypto today. It's a massive day in crypto today. Massive day. It's the last day of the first quarter of 2022. So today is the day when all the funds want to close their positions pretty well. So the funds all want to make sure that they close their positions pretty well because it's the last day of the quarter. And this is when they report to their investors about their quarterly performance. So if today their funds close well, then it makes it easier for them to raise money. And if they don't, well, it probably makes it a little bit harder and they may get some, should we say, unhappy fund holders. So it's a big day today. It's also a big day today because we've got the European vote and Bitcoin price may be telling us something because the market is nervous. So lots to talk about. And then we're going to talk about Solana, Avax, and Luna. So Luna, Vax, and we're going to decide which one of them is going to get to $250 first. So it's going to be one of our biggest shows today. But before we start the show, subscribe to our channel. We are growing at the speed of light. We need you to help us. Subscribe to the channel. And if you want to help us even more, just hit the like button. Just smash that like button. It costs you nothing and it gets this content out to a lot of people. Before we start the show, what I want you to do is I want you to tell me in the comments, whether you think Solana, Luna, or Avax is going to be the first one to hit $250. And then I'm going to show you my thesis for it. But before we get there, hold on a second. Kyle.
Yes.
Why are you selling your positions? Is it true that you're selling your
is this my chart? There we go. No, that's not my chart. Whose is that?
That's Sheldon's chart.
Yeah, mine looks a little bit different.
Do you want to share yours?
Okay. Here we go.
So
Guys, you're both muted.
Okay, so say that again. Kyle sold this position. Can you believe that Kyle actually sold his position? He just got in the market and he sold his position. Can you believe it? Kyle, why
did you leave the party again? We just got here, man.
So let me just mute Rand. So the reason why is I entered over here at 43 and I just tracked this up. And we just lost that. So I am expecting a pullback and I just want to re-enter a little bit lower. I just want more coins, that's all. It's just a short-term trade. It's not like my hodl position or anything like that. And that's it. I'm just a test of the top of that ascending triangle that broke out. And then I'm back in again. It should be tomorrow, the next day, hopefully.
Bro, are you watching 5-minute charts? Is that what we've reduced ourselves to watch the 5-minute chart?
It's a 4-hour chart.
Sheldon, help me here, boy. Help me, please.
No. Okay, well, I've got a different trend. That's my worry trend. Until then, I'm not touching nothing. Like, a test at any point we spoke about earlier. Maybe the market knows something, but guys, we smashed through here. We finally got through 46. There's nothing wrong with testing it again. So we've been expecting this little pullback. It's actually been a nice time to add to the positions that already ran. And yeah, I'm definitely taking advantage of it. Remember, guys, this is what Bitcoin has done. that's the pullback.
Don't be like Kyle. Yeah. To all the viewers out there, please do us a favor and do not be like Kyle. Please do not be like Kyle. Please. Sheldina, we're going to have some fun later. We're going to talk about Avalanche, Solana, and Luna, and we're going to see which one's going to get to $250 first. We're also going to talk about the Bitcoin price. I may bring you back in a couple of seconds. Until then, let's do this. Alrighty, so that is the Bitcoin chart. And we had a couple of good days. We had 8 positive days. Now we've had 2 negative days, and we had a little bit of a dip in Bitcoin. Bitcoin went down to about 46,200 or 46,300, depending on where you were. And that is just after this EU vote, which is taking place, which may be seen as quite bad for crypto. The whole thing behind the EU vote is that they're voting about how much they need to report on non-custodial wallets and how much they need to verify non-custodial wallets, specifically around exchanges. Now, the vote is finished. They have finished voting, and they will announce the results of the vote in a couple of seconds. And so that's why I thought that when the price went down over here, I thought that maybe somebody knew something that we don't know. And that you always need to look at the market to tell you whether someone knows something that you don't know. But we're not seeing panic at the moment. We're just seeing a little bit of a pullback, which means that it's just slight nerves, but not a panic as yet. So keep your eyes on what's happening on that EU vote. I think it's going to pass as a nothing burger, but you got to pay attention. You got to pay attention because you got to look at the bull case and you got to look at the bear case if you want to stay alive in this market. So that's where we're at. Otherwise, the sentiment is very good. The vote is in. It got passed. Is that? Let's just check if one of you just check, all of you just check, and let me know if the vote's in and if the vote actually did get passed. I think if the vote is in and the vote did get passed, I think we would have seen a bigger correction in Bitcoin. So I don't think that's right. I think that's someone just trolling. In terms of sentiment, the sentiment out there this morning and even now is still pretty good. So you can see the commodities chart. And for me, this commodities chart tells us what's happening in Russia and Ukraine. The commodities chart is back down, still above the trend line. So for me, as I said to you, when it breaks the trend line, then I think they're going to have made some progress in the peace talks. Our altcoin portfolios are doing good. The Bitcoin dominance is still continuing its downtrend. So that for me is votes of confidence in the market. If people are confident in the market, they're going to go more risk on. If they go more risk on, they're going to go much more into altcoins. And if I look at the market right now, it looks like the market is going much more risk on, as you can see over here. Our altcoin portfolios doing quite well, solidly, which we spoke about yesterday or the day before. Up 46.8%. We'll talk about that in a second. Starlaunch up 25.2%, which is encouraging. It might show that launch pads are coming back after quite a bear market. Vote passed.
Yeah.
The EU.
EP committees have voted in favor to crack down on individual.
Wow. Okay. So that is quite big news. So the vote is passed. We'll get you some more news on that. So the vote is passed. Now, that's not, as we said, it's not the end of the world, and it's not specifically going to change things immediately. And there are many other opportunities for it to change, but it's not great news, which is probably why we had this slight pullback. The market actually did know something that we didn't know. The market leaked news that we didn't know. By the end of the show, the researchers will have something for us. I can see they're already dropping a whole lot of stuff in the research group. So if you guys would continue to drop stuff in the research group, that would be great, and we'll pick that up all at the end of the show. Cool, let's carry on. So the sentiment is good though, because you can see the sentiment is good because people are much more risk on, and you can see that because you look at the Bitcoin dominance, and the Bitcoin dominance is down. It's now edging closer towards 42. Our altcoins are doing fantastically well. As I said, you've got Solidly up 50%. You've got Starlaunch up. You've got Fuse up 20%. You've got Steppen. Steppen is not stopping. It's not stopping. It's not stopping. Finally, we've got Trader Joe up 14.8%. Stargate, another one that isn't stopping, $3.50, $3.46. JPEG, which we've been talking about a lot, up 12.3%. Pickle, which got hit hard and hasn't recovered, is up at 539. I mean, that might have a long way to go on the way up. Astroport.
I think you must apologize to Joe Ball.
I have to apologize to Joe Ball. I wasn't trolling. Sorry, Joe. Astroport hit the $3 again and now is at $2.75. I made that prediction when Bitcoin was at 36,000 over a month ago, that Astroport was going to hit $3 and Luna was going to hit $100. I was right, I think, on both accounts. If you had conviction and you did buy into the Degen-ish portfolio, you are now almost 60% up. So you're almost 60% up. If you would have bought Solidly yesterday or day before, when we looked at Solidly, you're up about 50%. You were up about 70%. And that is because, if you remember what I said about Solidly, I said that Andre Cronje told me that Solidly was the best piece of code that he ever wrote. And the analogy that I used was, I said, look, if you had a ship which was built by the biggest, or a yacht, and it was built by the best yacht maker in the world, and then the yacht maker abandoned the yacht after it was built, it doesn't make sense that someone's not going to jump in and drive it. And even if they don't drive it as well as the original yacht maker, well, it doesn't make sense that it's not going to drive very well. And you can see that already people have started to pick up into Solidly. And so now Solidly and Deuce have now got a $3 million liquidity bootstrapping program, and they're looking to use this to get $30 billion of volume in the next 30 days. So Solidly is anything but dead. I've been accumulating it on all the dips, as I said to you guys, and I'm going to continue to accumulate it in the dips, because I think that it is one of those tokens that you want to be buying during this, because, as Andre said, it's the best chip that he's ever bought. The portfolio that we were holding all day, it's been at 51,000. It's now back at 48,000. Oh, there, it's back at 50,000. So we're back at 50,000 in the portfolio. We've clawed our way up. We're back at 50,000. We started at 50,000. We went down to 37. That's when I reinvested in a slightly more Degen portfolio. And now we're back at 50,000. So remember, anything above this now goes to charity. Any cent that we make above this 50,000, we said goes to charity. I know Sheldon's, I think, a little bit behind me. I think his portfolio is on 47,000 or something like that. And remember, we said everything that we make, we're going to give to charity. So that's this portfolio over here. What else? Oh, it is a big day today. So the reason why it's such a big day is because it's the end of the quarter. It's the last day of March, and March is the third month of the year, and then that makes it the end of the quarter. And at the end of the quarter, funds usually have to report their positions to their LP. So all the funds, specifically the crypto funds in the world, or all funds, but specifically crypto funds, today is a very important day, because whatever they close their positions around today is effectively how they report. And funds that want to raise money, or funds that want to look good in front of their LPs, they need to report good results. So typically what you could see at the end of these quarters is you could see some kind of buying. I'm going to call it manipulation, because manipulation would be illegal, and it's not manipulation, but it could be some kind of mysterious buying in the bigger coins that the funds are holding. So look out for the coins that you think the big funds are holding, specifically the funds that have to report to the LPs every quarter. And the better funds to be looking at are the funds that are trying to raise money or going to raise another fund. Because what they're going to do is they're going to report their numbers to look as good as possible so they can go and start raising the other fund. Now, speaking of funds investing smartly, Layer 0, which is this cross-chain protocol, let's call it for now a cross-chain protocol, announced that they raised $135 million at a valuation of $1 billion. And they raised the money from Sequoia, FTX Ventures, A16Z, and a whole lot of others. Now, the reason why I'm telling you this is I think that we've been supporting Layer 0 and the DEX that's built on top of it, the exchange, which is Stargate, which is a cross-chain protocol, or a cross-chain protocol that doesn't require bridges. And after the hack of Wormhole and the hack of Ronin, we see that there is a need for this cross-chain, very quick, seamless place where you can basically operate across all blockchains without actually knowing that you operate across all blockchains. Now, next week I'm going to make a video for you guys to show you exactly how Stargate and Layer 0 works, and it's amazing. But what you need to learn here is you need to also question when this was done. So this is being announced now, but this deal was completed a couple of months ago. And the reason why I say that is because retail investors, what brands or what companies try and do is they try and announce their raises into peak hype, and they withhold these announcements. So this deal was done ages ago, and they're now talking about it, So we do love Layer 0, but just watch out for those kind of announcements. Another big announcement or big news is, I don't know if you guys have been watching Elio's game, the Imposters. The mint price for the Imposters was a 0.65, 0.65, 0.7, floor price now at 2.18, 10,000 items. And tomorrow we've got Elio on the show with us. So we've got Elio. Tomorrow we've got our massive banter show. And if you look at the people that are coming onto the banter show tomorrow, you've got Elio, you've got Chris Zuckman. Chris is the founder of DAOmaker, so he's involved in a whole lot of projects. And you got James from Invest Answers. So it's going to be a huge, fun banter show, one of our big fun Friday banters tomorrow. So don't miss that one. Last week we had Michael Saylor, Scaramucci, and Yusko. And this week we're going a little bit more altcoin Degen. Speaking of the Bitcoin maxis, KuCoin isn't stopping. He's still buying a Bitcoin. He's now the third biggest holder in the world. The first biggest holder, well, I think after Satoshi. So let's say you got MicroStrategy with 125,000 Bitcoin. You got Tesla with 43,200 Bitcoin. And then you've got Terra with 30,727 Bitcoin. And remember that KuCoin said that he was going to be, or they wanted to be the biggest holders of Bitcoin in the world other than Satoshi. So he's slowly clawing his way up. And I don't know, maybe this is a great dip for him to be buying. Or maybe he is buying a dip, and maybe that's why we're not seeing the price go as far down as the price should go, given that this EU thing has actually been passed. Yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, possibly. Possibly. This is when we actually need KuCoin. This is when we need him. This is when we need KuCoin. Do was actually trolling Peter Schiff last night. I don't know if you guys saw this, but he was trolling Peter Schiff. He said, if I was capable of moving the Bitcoin price, it would not be fit to be a reserve asset. Fortunately, Bitcoin is neutral. It cares not what I nor you or anyone else thinks, and it's mighty. Purchasing significant amounts of Bitcoin creates information asymmetry between insiders and everyone else. I'm not buying Bitcoin. The reserve is for communities of users that use UST, numbering in the millions. Everyone should know that. So there he is. I will bring him on banter. He just said he's taking a little bit of a media break. Alrighty, so that is the news for today. We're going to try and get you guys as much information as we can about the EU bill and what it actually means. But remember, what it's about is how they deal with exchange transfers between non-KYC'd wallets. And what they wanted people to do was they wanted people to really conduct very stringent verification before they accept any transactions or before they send any transactions. And they wanted exchanges to verify this information and to do it, I think, under is Carl related to Peter Schiff? Under $1,000 or something like that.
I have no gold.
You have no gold.
Zero.
You have no gold. You have zero gold. You have zero gold. Also, another thing that we're doing now, just before we get into the big news of the day, is we're doing this. So a lot of people attack us because they say that what we do is we don't record our calls. And, they say you only talk about the good calls. You never talk about the bad calls. So what we've done now is we've now created a call sheet. That's what the call sheet looks like. And every time that we have the conviction to make a call, we're going to add it to the sheet. And we're going to add it on with the price in which it was added on. And so then you're going to be able to see exactly what we have added on. And we'll publish a spreadsheet of what we added on, when we added it on, and where in your portfolio it should sit. And that way there can be no misconceptions about, should I be selling? Was I supposed to buy 1% or 10% or 15%? Now we're just going to show you where it sits in your portfolio. Is it part of your HODL portfolio? Is it part of your 10x gems? Is it part of your Degen plays? And if it is, how much of your portfolio should you be moving in? And when you should graduate it from one to the other. Now, you'll notice that it's very similar to the portfolio that we gave you guys, because those are the calls that we've officially made this in the beginning. But now, whilst this here is the portfolio, this here is going to be all the calls that we make over and above the portfolio. So if tomorrow I decide that I want to add a token and I just want to take a little bit of a go on it and it's not part of the actual portfolio, I'm going to add it to this sheet over here. And then you're going to know, A, what percentage of your portfolio you should be putting into it. You're going to be, I'm going to show you how much it's performed. And that way, we cannot be attacked anymore by the haters and by the people on Twitter that say, oh, but you shilled us this and you shilled us that. Because what they do is they take it all out of context. So now we're actually going to have the master sheet. The master sheet is going to record all our calls. If it's not on the master sheet, it's not a call. So make sure that you're following the master sheet. We're going to publish it on our website. We're going to also publish it on my Twitter. We're going to publish it on our BBS, and we're going to keep talking about it in the show. Remember, if it's not on the call section, then it's not one of our calls. We may talk about it, but we're not telling you to put it into our portfolios. And if we are putting it into our portfolios, we will update it here on the call sheet. Those that have been listening to the calls and have bought the portfolio, you guys are 60% up to date. So congratulate yourselves. Congratulate yourselves that you guys are 60% up to date. And from now on, to make sure that we're fully transparent and that there cannot be doubts about how much we told you to put in and what price we bought. Because a lot of people are attacking us because they bought Sunny, but instead of buying 1% of their portfolio into Sunny, they went and bought 30% of their portfolio into Sunny. Well, now that can't happen anymore, because you look at this sheet over here, anything that's in the Degen plays, if you're putting more than 1 to 2% of your portfolio into it, you've done it all wrong. The 10x gems and the HODL portfolio, for me, I never sell those. So I just buy, and I never ever sell those. So take a look at this and make sure that this is how you are planning your portfolio. Alrighty, you got that. So now, from now on, Shaldino, we're never going to have people saying to us that, I bought the wrong ones, I put them into the wrong thing. Now it's all on paper. It's going to be on our website and it's going to be updated. And that's going to be the end of that.
Exactly, brother. Keeping it all together. And at least it's going to teach people when we're adding to it as well. I think a lot of the problems within the last year in our info is people they weren't always listening at times, and they were buying the things a lot higher than they were supposed to. So I think this is a lovely way for us to work together.
You know what they were also doing is they were buying. We would talk about something, and instead of buying 1%, what they were doing of their portfolio, what they were doing is they're putting 30% of their portfolio into these calls. So, and that's the problem.
And I think I made that mistake in the beginning as well. So I think it was a lesson for everyone, and it's a lesson for us too. And I think this is how we can restructure it. And this one's gonna be good, brother. I don't know how you're feeling, but we got good momentum. Everyone's learning. Everyone's a lot more smarter. I think this one's going to be really good.
Yeah. I took on CryptoCapo and I said that he's one of Kyle's friends. And then he called out this thing, ZachXBT, around, Star Launch and how did we get our community into Star Launch? And this is exactly the stuff that I'm talking about. Because if you look at the facts, not the bullshit garbage, but let's look at the facts around Star Launch. Number one, we didn't tell anyone to buy Star Launch after the IDO. The people that bought in the IDO are still 10x up. So, and they were at 1.250x up. Just depends when you got your tokens. We also gave away 50 free IDO spots to our community. That was valued at $2 million, and we're still obviously holding our tokens. So that's what I'm trying to do to stop that by saying, look, here are the facts. You want to know what our calls are? Here are our calls. This is when we call them. This is how much they're up. And we'll publish the spreadsheet and we'll publish it all on our website and everywhere else.
Dun.
Alrighty. Let's do this. The big question. Which one of these is going to get to $250 first? Which one of these is going to get to $250 first? And the reason why I asked that is because a couple of days ago, in fact, exactly 12 days ago, I asked you guys a question on my Twitter, and I said they're all trading at 80. At the time, they were trading at between $80 and $90, and I said they're all trading between $80 and $90. But which one of these is going to trade at $250 first? Avax, Solana, or Luna? And these were the results. So 21.4% said Avax, 48.4% said Luna, and 30.3% said Solana. Now remember, they were all trading at between $80 and $90. Funny enough, I asked the same question today. And today, the stats are changing. So in 12 days, the supposed long-term investors that we call our community, or the people on Twitter, have completely changed their tune in 12 days. The problem is that if you're changing your tune in 12 days, then you don't really know what you're doing. because you should have conviction in what you're talking about. You can't tell me that something's happened in the last 12 days that's completely shifted this. To now put Solana in the front with 48.1%, Luna at 41.2%, and Avax. What this shows me is that the community is trading too much on emotions and not looking at the fundamentals and don't actually have conviction in their trades. And so today I thought what we'd do is we would look at it could be the bees, but the bees cannot be moving every 12 days because then you're not an investor. You don't know what you're doing. Because imagine that you took this information based on your emotions and you switched all your tokens into Luna. Now you'd be switching all your tokens into Solana. And that's the problem because you're moving with emotion. And so the idea is to look at it and to understand the fundamentals that are driving all three of these and to actually come to some kind of conclusion as to which one of them is going to get $250 first. Now, I think they're all going to outperform ETH. And I'm not the only one who thinks they're all going to outperform ETH. People are saying that I bet Solunavax outperforms ETH just holding those three, doing nothing else, 33% each. So I'm not the only one that thinks that they're all going to outperform ETH in the long run. But which one of them is going to hit $250 first? The first candidate is Solana. Now, the one thing that Solana has got is that Solana has already been to $250. It's been to $260. And it went all the way down, and it's now broken the trend line and starting to climb again. It's had an aggressive climb in the last couple of days. Then you've got Luna. Luna's also had an aggressive climb. You could say that it's printed this cup and handle, which Sheldon will talk about in a couple of seconds. It's now going into absolute price discovery mode. It's come a long way. It's come from 35 cents about 18 months ago. Is it going to hit $250 first? Or is it going to be Avalanche? Avalanche kind of feels like it's the underdog. And it does have a lot of advantages on its side because whilst it is the underdog, it is the EVM compatible chain. And remember that you could say that one of the only reasons why these chains kind of have any value is because they are competing for the smart contract space. And the only reason why there's space in the smart contract space is because Ethereum has been unable to fulfill its promise or to handle all the transactions. So with all that in mind and looking at all the charts, which one of these is actually going to hit $250 first? Kyle, what do you think?
I'd probably just go Solana.
Okay, Kyle says Solana. Hustle, which one? What do you say?
I would like to say Avalanche, but based on historicals, I would say Solana hits it first.
Okay, fantastic. Let's see what Sheldon says.
Solana 1, Avax 2, Luna 3.
There we go.
Ooh, wow.
That's
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
We're going to look at the charts in a second. But before we look at the charts, let's quickly understand what these three chains do and how they all compare, because I think comparing them is a very difficult thing to do. The reason, Carl's going to pick USDT.
That's safer. It's much safer, guys.
Okay, so let's quickly look at this. So I found a quick article that will help us through it. So it really compares all three of these things. So it compares what is Terra, and Terra is very different from Solana and Avalanche. Let's quickly start off with Solana. So what is Solana? Solana is a layer 1 protocol like Ethereum. It's a smart contract blockchain like Ethereum. The objective behind Solana is to be able to do high transactions per second, very, very, very fast with finality, and to be able to generate smart contracts. Now, Solana has a consensus algorithm which is very similar to Ethereum. It's a proof of stake, or what Ethereum 2.0 will be, a proof of stake consensus mechanism with a proof of history, which is effectively a time-based consensus mechanism, which allows for Solana to process transactions pretty quickly. The founder of Solana is Anatoly Yakovenko. Now, he used to work at Qualcomm, and he is a network designer, a telecoms network designer. And so he knows how to build things that need to scale and need to be very, very, very fast. So that is the case for Solana. Solana today is on a mainnet beta. So it's not on a testnet, but it's on a beta mainnet. So that's what it is today. Then you got Avalanche. So Avalanche is the brainchild of Emin Gun Sirer, and I think he's coming on our show sometime next week. And they have an amazingly designed platform. What they've done is they've created a platform that is made up not of one chain, but actually made up of 3 chains. So they've got the P chain, they've got the X chain, and the C chain. And through this design, what they're able to do is they're able to put through transactions very, very, very quickly. So they're able to put through transactions very quickly. Avalanche is also EVM compatible, which means that if people want to migrate or developers want to migrate their dApps from Ethereum because of the transaction speeds, they can easily migrate onto Avalanche. In terms of transactions per second and cost per transactions, I'm going to leave that out of the discussion for today. And the reason why I'm going to leave it out of the discussion for today is because they are all promising very high transactions per second, but they all have their limitations. So for example, Solana can do very high transactions per second, but the problem is that it's not decentralized now. So let's see what happens when it becomes decentralized. Avalanche can do very high transactions per second, but the design of Avalanche makes it so that with the bigger the network becomes, the more expensive the transactions become. And then the last thing that you got Luna. And Luna is not really competing in the same space, because despite what CNBC may say from time to time, Luna is actually not a smart contract platform. I mean, it might work on a smart contract blockchain, which is built on the Cosmos SDK, which is built on Tendermint. So it is built in a language, the Cosmos language, or in the Cosmos ecosystem, which can now operate across a whole lot of other Cosmos chains. So what Luna is trying to do is Luna is trying to create a new financial system with their UST or their Terra-based currencies. And so Luna is not really playing in the space of trying to disrupt Ethereum, but more trying to create this new money financial system, which is centered around UST. And if you look at UST, Luna has been able to get huge adoption of their UST. In fact, if you look at the market cap of UST today, let's quickly just go look at that market cap. I think it's about $15 or $16 billion in market cap. Let's take a second for this to refresh, and we'll see what the market cap is. Here it is, $16.3 billion is Luna's is the market cap. So here it is, and that has been the growth of the market cap of Terra. So that is what they all set out to do, and they're all very, very, very different in what they set out to do. Solana, smart contract platform without sharding or layer 2s, which is very different from Ethereum. What they're looking to do is they're looking to attract applications that require very fast transactions, because that's what they pride themselves on. And so applications like trading softwares and stock exchanges and anything that requires very fast transactions for execution, those are suitable to go on Solana. So Solana's gone after lots of trading applications. And you'll see that in a second when we look at the ecosystems that are built on each chain. The goal is to guarantee information asymmetry in the world. So that's what it is. And cheapest possible set of hardware to guarantee information symmetry. So that is what Solana is all about. Then you've got Avax. The vision is to digitize everything. Wants to build a system that can accommodate all things of value on chain. Uses a novel protocol. We spoke about that a second ago. Finalizes transactions and makes them immutable in less than 1 second. Avax also has this subnet structure. So instead of computing everything on-chain, it computes things on subchains. And we saw that in the launch of DeFi Kingdoms, which launched, and they launched on one of their own subchains. But it is quite complex in its engineering. And by complexity of engineering, that could cause a whole lot of problems. So that is what they're all about. In terms of people, so each one of them has billionaires and strong people and funds behind it. Now, most notably, Sam Bankman-Fried, the founder of FTX and probably one of the richest crypto people in the world. I don't know if he's the richest. Maybe he's richer. I don't think he's richer than CZ. I think CZ, Forbes said,
No, he's not.
He's not. He's not richer than. But remember that Forbes said that Forbes said, yeah, let me show you this. This is actually quite funny. You got to see this. So let's look at CZ. So Forbes said this. Look at this. Forbes said, this is going to be funny. So you see, oh, it's Fortune. I thought it was Forbes. Okay, so they said he's worth $74 billion. I thought it was Forbes, and he owns Forbes. So it would be quite funny if, because he owns Forbes, it would have been quite funny. Sam Bankman-Fried, he's the big name behind Solana. And even though he's not one of the founders, he's definitely one of the funders of Solana and the Solana ecosystem. Avax, there's a whole lot of big names behind it. We'll look at it in a second. Andreessen Horowitz, Suzu from 3 Arrows Capital, he's behind Avax. And Luna has Kwon as a figurehead. So you're kind of dealing with real big people. In terms of people, in terms of funds. So let me show you guys some funds. Let's just see if we can quickly just close that. So let's look at let's see if I can find it quickly. I do have it here somewhere for you. Hold on, I do have all the funds to show you guys who's invested in what, and then we can go and look at ecosystems. Let's have a look at it here. Okay, so in terms of funds, we do have big funds behind all of them. When you're talking about Solana, you're talking about people like Multicoin Capital, you're talking about Sam Bankman-Fried, Alameda Research, and a whole lot of big names. When you're talking about Luna, you've got people like Arrington XRP Capital, like Hashed, like Delphi Digital, like Galaxy. When you're talking about Avalanche, you're talking about people like Andreessen. So all of them have got huge funds behind them, right? Here it is. In fact, here is a list of all the funds that are invested in the ecosystem or the chain. So you look at Solana, Alameda, Coin98 Ventures, Hashed, CoinGecko, Jump Trading, which we saw jumped in to help them when they had that exploit. When you talk about Luna, you got Galaxy, Pantera, Coinbase, Hashed, Arrington XRP Capital. When you talk about Avax, you've got Polychain, you've got Neo Global Capital, you've got Andreessen Horowitz. So all of these funds, all of these guys have huge money and huge backing behind them. In terms of dev activity, so you look at the developer activity, because remember, you've got to follow the devs. And if you follow the devs, then you'll see where the money goes. These charts look very, 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 very similar to the idiot, because anyone who's not an idiot would actually look at the axes. And what you would see is that Solana has 404. So this is on scale. Solana has about 15 or 20 times or 10 times the developer activity that Luna has and that Avax have. So when you look at developer activity, Solana has about 10 times the developer activity. Now let's look at the ecosystem. So you look at the Solana ecosystem over here, and you look at the type of dApps that are being built on Solana. Solana has a huge DeFi ecosystem and a huge trading and infrastructure ecosystem. Why? Because that is what they're going for. They're going for trading, things that need speed, and also gaming. So they've got a massive gaming ecosystem, and then they've got a whole lot of social stuff like Audius and stuff like that. So Solana's got an amazing ecosystem being built. Let's look at Avalanche next. So we've got Avalanche. Avalanche has a very healthy mix of gaming and DeFi, which they've been quite aggressive about. So they've got the whole DeFi ecosystem over here, and they've got a whole big gaming ecosystem over here. Luna is slightly different. So Luna is all about replacing money with UST. And so what you can expect with Luna is things like DeFi, savings, payments, gambling, everything you can do with money. And that is what the Terra ecosystem looks like now. Then let's look at a couple of other things that would make a difference. So this is DeFi Kingdoms, and this is one of the subnets that's been launched on Avalanche. And you can see that over here. You can see how amazing the graphics are. And we know that the Jewel token, the DeFi Kingdoms token, has also exploded in the last couple of days. Okay, let's look at total value locked. So if we look at the total value locked on DeFi at the moment, $29 or $30 billion is locked on Terra, on Luna. $10 billion is locked on Avalanche, and $8 billion is locked on Solana. So you can see that Luna has the highest total value locked. But is that healthy total value locked? Because the majority of Luna is sitting 15 or 50% of the full total value locked is sitting on one protocol, Anchor Protocol. And we know that Anchor Protocol is, up until now, has been funded by the Luna Foundation to get more people to adopt UST. It's been almost a marketing tool. And now what they're starting to do is to reduce the interest offered by Anchor Protocol by 1.5% a month until such time as it finds itself and they're not paying out more, and so they don't run out of what they call a yield reserve. So that is where the total value locked is. Solana had a great total value locked, but has kind of come down and now has a 7.87 billion total value locked. And in fact, if we look at all the chains and we compare all the chains, so you can see that today, Ethereum is obviously the number one chain. Luna is the number two chain in terms of total value locked. The number 4 chain is Avalanche, and the number 5 chain is Solana. So that is when it comes to total value locked. Let's look at some other metrics. So here, let's look at, hold Hold on, I've got to find some other metrics for you. So let's look at transactions. So you can see here that transactions on the Terra blockchain, the daily 7-day moving average, they are currently doing 600,000 transactions per day. I don't think they're limited in the number of transactions, but right now that's the number of transactions that they're doing per day. When you look at the Solana transactions per day, they're doing about 40 million transactions per day. I think we have the Avalanche number of transactions per day, which is currently sitting at about 1 million transactions a day. So 811,000 transactions a day. So in terms of number of transactions a day that are actually happening, Solana obviously takes the cake. Now, why do we never talk about BSC? Because I don't think BSC is a real competitor when it comes to these guys. The one big thing that everybody doesn't ask is, in fact, let's look at the charts, and then we'll talk about the big thing. Sheldino, if you were just looking at the charts, which one would you go for here?
Well, it's quite easy for me. Solana's been at $250. It's only broken out of recent now, back close to all-time high, and it's at $250. So for me, you know, looking at fib levels on that, you know, and taking this big wave down, you know, my 1618, which is the normal push if things turn super bullish and we get an all-time high break Bitcoin, is at $370. You know, we jump onto Avax. Avax has only just broken daily trend now. You're basically asking me which ones do 100% first. And for me, for me to see that is a coin that has broken trend only recently and has a lot of to the upward side. You're asking, you know, the bees are at Luna right now, but we know how quickly the bees shift. Solana is a very big range coin and it gets very aggressive in the market. So for me, Solana definitely number one, as it's just close to all-time high. Avax for me number two, because it shows me the 1618 retracement, well, the extension level is sitting at $200. And then we sort of look at Luna, and Luna's at now, if I take the same retracement from the bottom to the down, you know, your 1618 at 140, sort of see Luna getting a little bit of exhausted at that point, and 2618 sitting at 200. So, you know, I do believe it's going to get reached from Luna. I just don't think it's going to get reached first. So Solana, Avax, Luna, that's charting only.
Alrighty, smart. Now, let me tell you the one thing that most people aren't looking at. Most people are looking at Solana, Avax, and Luna on price. That is what it is. Now remember that every token also has tokenomics. So Luna, the more Terra that is created, the more the supply of Luna actually decreases, okay? Which means that it's easier for the price to go up because there's going to be less, the more adoption that happens on Luna, the less, on Terra, the less Luna they're going to be around. And so the easier it is for the price to go up. With Solana, with Avalanche, Avalanche has a token burning mechanism. And so as more and more transactions happen, more and more Avax actually get burnt. And this is the problem. Investors generally only look at price. And they say which one is going to get to $250 first. But the question that you actually should be asking yourself is, go to CoinGecko or to CoinMarketCap and look at what a $250 million $250 valuation actually means for each one of the protocols. So with Solana, the total supply of tokens is 508 million tokens. If there are 508 million tokens and we get to $250, then we're pretty much looking at a valuation of $125 billion, which is about 1/3 of Ethereum's valuation if we get to $250. If you go and look at the same thing on Luna, and you look at the total supply of Luna, now bear in mind that we keep constantly burning Luna, there's 1 billion total supply of Luna. Getting to a price of $250 means that Luna has to have a market cap much closer to Ethereum's of $250 billion. And if we do the same calculation on Avalanche, which has 720 million tokens, if it gets to $250, it means that the fully diluted valuation is going to be $180 billion. And so if Luna gets to $250, it's going to have the highest valuation of all of them. Whereas if Solana gets to $250, it's only going to have half of Luna's fully diluted valuation, which means that the easiest one to go to $250 and the most obvious one to go to $250 is going to be Solana, because it has the most developer activity. And if in order for it to get to $250, it only needs to get to a fully diluted valuation of $125 billion. Whereas Luna almost has to double that. And Avalanche needs to get to $180 million. So if you ask me, which one of them logically, now remember the markets can be illogical for a period of time, logically should get to $250 first, I think that I put my money on Solana. That's not to say that I don't like Luna. As you know, Luna is my biggest holding. But in terms of how easy it is to get from where it is now to $125 billion in Solana's case, $250 billion in Luna's case, or $180 billion in Avalanche's case, I think Solana's got the shortest way to go. And so that's why I would put my money on Solana reaching $250 before any of these guys, in the absence of anything big happening. It's as simple as that. Let me know what you think. For me, it's pretty...
Yeah, brilliant. Well, what about...
People look at price. The issue is that people look at price, and they shouldn't be looking at price. They should be looking at what is the total valuation, which is the total number of tokens, the maximum supply of tokens, times the price. And that shows. The price itself doesn't matter. It's the market cap that matters. And for Luna to get to $250, it means it needs to have a $250 billion market cap, which would put it at, if we put Luna at $250 or $250 million, Ethereum today is at $400 million. So it's like, it would make it huge. It would make it the number 3 token, and the number 4 token at $250 million would be Avax. If they're all at 250, number 3 would be Luna, number 4 would be Avax, and number 5 would be Solana. Which does.
What about the Luna market cap? The tokens being burned.
Well, you can exactly. That's what I said. There is a disclaimer that if UST really does get adopted, then a lot of Luna are going to be burned. So you can't look at it linearly. But I think that's the part that you got to be looking at. What does it actually mean? What does it actually mean? And as you know, as I said to you, Luna is my biggest holding by far. Anyway, let me know what you think. There's no right and wrong here, because only time will tell us if we're right or wrong. So let me know in the comments what you guys think. The Love Muscle, what is on your show tonight, bro?
So today's show,
we didn't give away. Don't go anywhere.
I won't go. They won't go anywhere. Today's show will be a recap of GDC. I'm actually traveling out to NFT Miami today. So we have a series of interviews with projects like Immutable X, Phantasma, and a few others out at GDC. So we're going to do a recap of the conference that I was at last week. Since I haven't done due diligence on everything out there yet, we have some footage. And then I will also go live tomorrow from NFT Miami. Amazing.
Alrighty, boy. We'll see you a bit later.
See you around.
And you're taking my ticket to the Miami conference next week, and you're gonna miss. You're gonna meet Miles there.
Yeah. So you mentioned double dipping, and I'm gonna end up double dipping. I will be staying in Miami throughout the week. I will meet Miles out at Miami next week, and I do need your Bitcoin Miami pass.
All right, you got it, bro. You got it.
Solid. Appreciate it.
Alrighty. Now remember, there are 2 amazing competitions going down now. So the first competition is the KuCoin Competition, where if you sign up to the KuCoin exchange with our referral link, you can win a Bitcoin. So that's the first competition that's going right now. And that's open. So there's a referral link below. You want to stand a chance to win a full Bitcoin? Just sign up with the referral link. But then when Bybit found out about this, they said, no, we're not going to be outdone here. And so what they said is, not only are we going to give you a Bitcoin for anyone who opens an account, but we can also play what I'm calling, I don't know, we call it roulette. It's not really roulette. Here's how it works. It's called Double My Portfolio, okay? So this is an updated list of everybody that has a Bybit account with the Crypto Banter referral link. And every day we're going to select 3, 4, 5 winners, and we're going to double the balance in their account. Now remember, I don't know what the balance is in your account because I've hidden that row. And what we're going to do is we're just going to scroll and stop. And I'm going to highlight this one over here. And let's highlight it in another color, in a magenta, I think they call that color. And then we'll take this one over here. And we will double the amount of money in your Bybit account.
Up to 5,000.
Up to 5,000. We've got up to 5,000. How many should we do? Let's do 5. Let's do 5 today. I really hope we get a big one. But then I also hope we don't. I also hope we don't get a big one, because then I have to pay a lot of money. And we're paying this. So, and that's today. So that's today's winners. Now let's see how well they've done. Let's see I'm sure we're going to catch a whale here. I'm sure we're going to catch a whale. So let's unhide the columns, and you can then see what the amount is that the magenta people have in their accounts. So let's go to the magenta people and see how much money they had in their accounts. Let's go. Okay, where was it? Okay, the first one, $256 in the account, so we'll double your $256. Okay, $14. Are you kidding me? We'll double your $14.
You scored there.
And another $262.58 in your account. We'll double the amount in your account. And remember, are there any more? I didn't pick any more, did I? Oh, there's another one. $10. We'll double the $10. Double.
Cheap round for you.
There's another $100. We'll double the $100. I'll double the $100. Okay, so you remember that every day, now, for the month of April, every single day, I'm going to double the money in your account. So if you've got a Bybit account, every single day, we refresh the list, and you can win double the amount of money in your account. Double the amount of money in your account. So put in money. Don't have to trade. Don't do anything. Just put money in the account. I'll double it. All right. Also, don't forget that we will do giveaways on the website, but we'll do them tomorrow because we actually have. There's a story here about Layer 0. You got to read that. You got to read the Layer 0 is going to be one of the most important protocols in the market now. You got to understand that. You got to read it. So there's a story here about Layer 0. Immutable X, also you got to learn about Immutable X. Unbelievable. And then Sheldon's been dropping charts all day long. Wow. Okay, there's lots to do. We'll see you guys again tomorrow. Remember, tomorrow we have Banter. Elio's coming on. We'll talk to him about the imposters. We've got Invest Answers. We've got James. And then we've got Chris from Maker. So it's going to be like an altcoin Degen. I'll see you guys again tomorrow. Remember to put money into your Bybit account so we can double the money in your account. It gives me no better pleasure than doubling your money. That's what they call me, double your money, man, run. Remember, double your money, man, run. See you tomorrow.